Did you guys see my screen? Am I sharing that right? Okay. Settings. Okay. Okay. Okay, so at the same time, probably you can wait a few minutes, getting people's back to our call. At the same time, probably I'll like talk about a little bit on what we are gonna do next. And yeah, so basically, right, just now, you guys install Git, right? If you do, then it's good. If not, it's still okay. It's not compulsory, but it is something that you can do, right? So basically, okay, so basically just now we'll cover mostly about HTML, which is basically a skeleton. You can see that all the, like, for example, all the contents in HTML, right? They are very boring. You see the text, you see example A tag is only underlined there, or you put a header one, header 2 is always the same. So during the early days of development, right, while CSS is not very popular and not widely used, sites are like this, or all sites are really looking like this during the early days of internet. Then actually CSS come out like a few years later. Then only will they start to like, oh, we can actually perform more styling to the HTML, to the page itself. Or sometimes when you go to a page, right, sometimes when the internet connection is low, you might see the pages something like that, right? Example, usually they have stylings, right? Then sometimes when you go into the page, you see that, hey, why is all like H1, H2 like normal without stylings, right? One of the reasons is because the internet speed is not allowed them to actually load the styling file. That's why sometimes it is not styled by internet connection problem. So sometimes when you refresh, and it can be solved. They will refresh again. Yeah. So that's basically about it. So now we're going to go into another important part, which is CSS. CSS are, I would say, fairly important. We use it to customize the appearance of the website. And also, if you guys are just now not here or miss it up, I send you guys the link here. You guys can actually access the same notes that I have in my here. So basically, it is a web application that includes all the contents that we have lah. Yeah. By the way, are you guys ready? Ready with CSS? So probably you can reply. I want to check whether all of you are here. Yeah. Are ready? Are you ready? I can hear you. Are you ready? Yeah, so it's not SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah, I know it's very lame. Yeah. Okay. So without further ado, let's go with it. Okay. So you ready? Okay, that's a nice GIF. Okay. Let's directly start with it. So for example, let's come back with this, right? For example, I have a text, right? Let's say you can look at my slide here. So hi, Kim here. So the boring thing is always the same. So for example, now I want to add some stylings, right? So I want to add some stylings to the content itself. I can actually add stylings like this, right? I can add the styling like this, which is basically like we call it a style tag, which is style attributes. Then you say the color. Let me say it is let's say it's blue. And remember, you need to create a semicolon because for CSS, this is its principle. So basically, this is like the attributes, the element. Then this is the value they assign to the element. Color, it means the color of text. You assign blue to it. Example, if you want to, because CSS attributes are all basically like this. This is basically the CSS properties. The value assigned. This is how CSS how we actually define the CSS rules, CSS styles. So for example, you say the color is blue, right? Okay, then we just say color is blue, and you come into the page, you see text turns blue. And for example, I want to center the text, you know, I don't want it to be on the left side, I want it to be on the center. Example, if I didn't have a semicolon between two rules, right? Let me just put a semicolon first. Like, let me put a semicolon and let you see how it works, right? Let me see how it works. Okay, it works, right? Yeah, it works. We need a semicolon is because we want to tell them, okay, this is the end of the first rule. Now we'll proceed to the second rule. If we didn't have a semicolon, either your IDE your text editor will tell you that there's some error. If not, they won't recognize at all, because they will assume that this whole thing are all under the same rule, which are unrecognizable by HTML itself. So by having this semicolon is right beside the L in your keyboard if you are using the QWERTY keyboard, right? So it's semicolon here. You tell them that, okay, the end of the first rule, and this is the starting of the second rule. Yeah. So we make it is a blue color, and we align its center. Okay, it is a blue color, and we align its center. Okay. So yeah. So I think the same task as you guys. Without further but before that, I want to tell more about it first, because there are multiple ways that we can style CSS. The first way is we call inline styling, which is basically we actually put it, we style it in the HTML tag itself. But this might lead to a problem. For example, I have another friend here. His name is Chia, right? He want to have the same rule. He want to be a blue color text, right? He want to be a blue color text. He want to be center, and he follow the same rule, right? The problem is you can see that in code we don't want to repeat ourselves too many times. You can see that the color blue text align center is repeated again. It always repeated, but like these two elements, they share the same CSS rules, right? But it's repeated. So we want to try not to actually repeat things which are actually not good, you know, because you repeat things. Example, right? If both of them you want to change to pink, you need to go here and go change. You need to go here and change to pink, and here you need to change to pink. For example, you have 100 of them. You have 100 of the same elements, and they have our own attributes. Then you need to go to the 100 lines to change of blue to pink, blue to pink, blue to pink, which is not something ideal. So for example, right? So what we can do is, I think I also mentioned it here also. It's better to move it out away from individual lines. We using another tag called style in the head. Yeah. So we create another element. We create another tag called style. Basically, we just write our CSS rule here. Then what we can do is we just create write our style, right? So I will call this color. This rule, this set of rules, I will call style H1, and I want to assign to each of these both H1 to this style. So what I can do is I using class, because I'm using dot here. This is actually we call it we assign the rule to a class name. So what I do here is a class. I just call style H1. And here as well, I call it class style H1. So what I do here is I assign both of them to a attribute called class, which means that like it's just like a classroom. They are on the same class. They are on the same class of style H1. All the students in style H1 have to be a color of pink, pink, and also it should be in center, right? So I just assign like this, then he will know that, oh, class style H1 is a class of style H1. CSS rule, you have a style H1 rule for this. So all of this should be pink and center, and this should be pink and center. Let's see the output. It's pink and it's center. So this is basically how we should define our CSS rules. And why we define it this way, as we mentioned, right? If we make changes and there are many of them, for example, like there are many of them here, right? Are all pink. If you write it just now in the inline rule, you need to change one by one. For this, you want to change all of them to blue, right? We just blue. Refresh, all of them will be blue. So we basically abstract the styling out, and we make them share the same properties as well, so that we don't need to repeat the code a lot of times, and we don't need to make very minute changes as well. Yeah. So this is basically how we do it. Yeah. We'll talk about this later, but let's stop it here first, right? So you can see if we have CSS and we lost the CSS. If we didn't assign a class, like example, right? If we didn't assign a class for this, then he will say, oh, this scheme without CSS, he don't have a class, he don't have a styling rule for him, so he have no styling at all. Yeah. So I wish you guys to try. So here's a simple task for you guys. Simple task for you guys, right? So first thing I want you guys to actually write your name, and you style it to any style that you want. Write your name and also your major, your age, and three of those lines have different styling. It can be color, it can be even background color, it can be background color, it can be like aqua, right? You see, it can be background color, right? So how you can explore this? You can explore many different types of CSS attribute. You say CSS W3 school. So when you go to CSS W school, you can see that there are all kinds of attributes like home, intro, color, and stuff. For example, text or fonts or colors, right? For example, colors. Yeah, there are all types of colors that you can explore, or anything that you want to explore, you can explore that too. Or yeah, that's basically this. So you can assign like colors, text align, and all kind of stuff there. Yeah. So which you guys can probably work a little bit on this. 3 lines, and all of them have different styles. Yeah. So I'll wait for like 3 minutes. Then you guys probably can screenshot a little bit, show me what you got. Yeah, you can use it on Hexa Code as well. Yeah, Hexa Code is basically right. Yeah, you can just wait. Yeah, you can just hashtag and the color you want. Okay. Yeah, so Hexa Code. Yeah, this is Hexa Code is used so that you can define the exact color that you want. Yeah, which sometimes we use it. So you can see I can set to the color I want, particular color I want. Or you can also use it in the RGB form. So I remember that you just like RGB. You can even A is for to what's the A name already? Basically, it make it blur or not blur, something like that. What's the name already? A. I forget what's the attributes of A already. But it basically let you make it blur or not dimmer or lighter, something like that. Yeah. So you can like 255, 255, 255 is a white color, right? I need to put this so that you guys can see. You can see it changed to white color. And I just sent a link. A for alpha. Yeah, A for alpha. Yeah, thanks for the tips. I forget about that. Yeah. So you guys can see, it's also alpha. Also, we can like opacity as well. Use opacity. Yeah. Transparency using RGBA. So you provide transparency. Yeah. So you can explore here, right? For example, you want to add float. You want to display. You want the CSS table. You want to CSS table. You can export this. You can see how they actually style the table. You see for table how they style it. There are all kind of attributes. We are all listed in this W3 school. Yeah. So I'll say this is the place that once you face any problem, you come back here to have a look. Yeah, you can see. So basically, we have a property and we have a value. This is how we actually declare them. Yeah. We'll talk about more a bit later. So I probably now you guys can actually write your major, write your name, your major, and age. You provide different style, like changing the colors, on all depends on your creativity. Yeah, probably I'll do it as well. So right, I'll probably do. So H1, it's game. Then probably I want to do border 1px solid. Yeah. Okay, so you can see I add a border outside, so it's a border there. Yeah, probably we can talk about borders, margins, and padding. More about it later. Yeah. So here is how to do it lah. So I want to see you guys can explore different attributes, because I would say that the few famous attributes like color, background, border, these are the like styling attributes. Like I mean mostly on coloring and alignment. But there are more that we'll discuss it soon, which are very useful, can help you to make responsive design and all kind of stuff. Yeah. And so for you guys to explore, yeah, you guys can explore it a little bit. Yeah, you can change your font style using font family. Yeah, you can change your font family to like, I think there are some of them. I think Studio UI, Bukita Sense, you can try it out. These are like some stock font family that are available in CSS itself, in the CSS library. So basically, these are already stock. If you want to have like some special fonts that will require imports and all kind of stuff, can be import or can be CDN, which I will use some custom font later from Google Font during the portfolio site. We'll discuss more about it later. You can change your font family. Yeah. You can use font family and choose the font that you want. Yeah, font family, you can choose the font that you want. If you have any question that you want to change something, you don't know, have no idea what to do, right? You can write in the chat. I can probably give you some pointers if I know. Yeah. Can you use custom image as background? What do you mean custom image as background? You mean like you have a square image, then you have a words at the center of the image? Is it something like that? Kinda. Oh, okay. There are some way to do that. You can use div, right? Then I have like which one? Let me think. You can use something. I think it's called image bg, which is called what's the field name again? Background image. I think it's background image, right? I think it's background image. Yeah. Then you can use URL. Then probably I find a URL. Then you can. Oh yeah. You can do this. You can do this. What that I can do now. Yeah, using background image. Let me just find an image. I think it's something like this, right? If I'm not mistaken, should be working. Let me see what is the problem that I made wrong. Background image. Shit. I think I need to height just set the height like 200 pixels or something with 100%. I'll talk about this later, about height and width stuff. But first, we can talk about colors first lah. Okay, because it's white color, so you actually can't see lah. If you see through inspect, later I will center the text lah. Yeah, you can center text. You can see where the text is in the center. Is there is an extra white space between the words? You mean between each line or between the words? What do you mean between the words? Extra white space, like you need between these two lines, right? Or something like that. Each line, okay. So you can okay, we'll talk about it now. How about we talk about it now? Which I'll talk about it later, but let's move it now because since we are talking about this, right? I think probably you guys can turn on your inspector tool, which is really right-click inspector. When you click on here, right? You can see this thing we call there's something called margin, there's something called border, and something called padding, right? Okay, so I give you an illustration. So basically, if we have an image like this, okay, this is a div, right? Then we have an image. We have an image. Okay. So what will border will be? Border is like an image, like your house. You have like you put you put a picture. You have like a frame for it, right? The frame that have thickness, that like the red tip, which is basically this red thing, right? The thickness will be the border. Then another one is called padding, right? Padding is basically like this is the picture and this is the division. This is the container. If you have some space between your image and you can set the padding, which is the space between your image, because for example, your image is this small and your frame is this big and these are all white space. Then this part will be your padding. Okay, then what if you have two pictures, right? You have another picture here, another picture here, right? And you see there's space here, right? You want to leave some space. You can set your margin here, which is basically margin is like outside your frame. These are all called margin, right? Called margin. If you send 10 pixels, you'll be 10 pixels. So if you don't want the space between them, you can set the margin to 0. For example, I just do this. I set the margin to 0. I enter, so you can see that there are no space between them. Let's set it above. I set it 0. You can see that there are no space on the above already. So this is basically the difference between margin, border, and padding. Padding is within the frame and the image itself, or the picture or the text itself. And border is basically the frame. It's like your house image, your house photo, right? You put a picture, you have a frame with a lot of patterns there. That's called border. And margin is those outside of the border. Yeah. Is it clear for you guys? If you have questions, you can tell me. Yeah. So if you want to see this, you can look at this way. Yeah. I think this image also represents it pretty well. So the content, the border is basically the frame. The padding is basically between the border and the content itself. And margin is anything outside the border, which is the frame of the picture or the content itself. Yeah. And this is the portfolio site that we are doing. Yeah, just for you guys for a simple preview. Any question, guys? Probably you want to share your screenshot on what you had did, right? The styling and stuff. Because I want to talk about this, right? Common CSS. You can see here the common CSS that I'll mention here. Nice, there's some interesting stuff. Yeah. AIT E Qingwei AIT 19. Yeah, I can see your styling. Yeah, that's nice. How can I change the margin here? You don't need to change the margin. You can if you want to change it in the inspector tool, you can just can just edit here, margin 0. You can edit to it here, or you can just write it like here, the margin. So if you put margin 0, means all the margin from the top, bottom, left, and right are 0. If you put margin 0, 10, then this means that your top and bottom is 0, left and right is equal to 10. So this is top, bottom, this is left, right. If you put 4 value like 10, 20, 30, 40, then the top will be 10, the right top it is basically top, right, bottom, and left. It's a clockwise. Then you can set them basically the margin in this way lah. Yeah, you can set the margin in this way. So basically top is to 10, 20, 30, and 40. So let me give you an example. Right, example, I just okay, so you can see here, I just click on this. Because I think I have a yeah, I need to use a unit which is per pixel. I'll talk about units later. Basically I want to cover it, but I think let's wait. Can you wait for a while? I'll talk this in more detail later. Yeah, I'll talk in more detail later as we will cover the stuff here. Then we'll talk about it. See, okay? And you get, yeah, I want to see what you guys do. Yeah, Chinro, financial insights, 18. Yeah, there's some nice thing. You change the background and you change the text color. Yeah, I need to talk about it in an organized way, basically. I can't skip it because I afraid that I bring confusion to others as well. Yeah. So Chinro, financial insights, 18. Yeah, how about others? Let me see what they did. Yeah. Yeah, wanted sheet is H20. Yes, you center the text, you add some border, and you set the background color. Okay, it's an interesting thing. Nice. Come on, guys. Let me see what you did. Okay, so while others are working on this, right, I would like to talk about all these common CSS properties that are very useful, and we use it like, for me, this is like everyday thing that I will touch with this, right? So color, I think we had talked about color, right? And I see just now I talk about color. You can set color, we can set text align, left, right, or anything, right? That's very famous. And also background color, I talk about, right? Background color to set to any color. And now let's talk about something we call it, there's something, I think I can, there's something we call width and height, right? I think width and height is very simple. It's basically you set width, your width and your height of your element itself. For example, this in this example, I think I move this move the top to bottom. Yeah, so you can see it. Okay, so for example, okay, you can see here, this is a red thing. I set the height to be 200 pixel and the width to be 100%. Why sometimes 100, sometimes 200 pixel, right? It's because they are different, how to say, measuring units for web development. We have px, which is pixel, which is basically 1 pixel is the 1 dot of the screen, something like that is a concept of it. 1 pixel is like 1 dot of the screen, because the screen is basically a lot of small pixels, right? A more small bobs like Then each bob, you call it 1 pixel. So if your height is 1 pixel, then it will be 1 pixel tall of it. So if 1 pixel tall, you just one line, something like one line. Yeah. So if it's 100%, so you measure the width. So example now is if it's wider, then probably the width is like currently is like probably 800, 900 pixel the width. Then we say 100%, so the width will be same as it. Yeah, there are some border here because I need to set because there are some. Wait, I think I need to remove this margin 0. This is the yeah, you can see it's totally 100%. So now no matter how you move it, it's totally 100%. It's always the same as the width that we have. And there are also other measuring units. So you can look at CSS units here, right? You have px, centimeter, mm. Usually we wouldn't use centimeter. We wouldn't use mm and anything like that. We usually use px, and this is the one for viewing device lah. Yeah, so we are using px, or we can use relative lengths, such as like em, ex, and all kind of stuff, percentage or vmax and stuff. I'll be introduce you guys to em, rem, and also percent. Okay, so percent I talked about it already. So it's basically the percent of your the percentage of the width that of the screen rate of the screen relative screen, or of the height of relative screen. Yeah. So for example, let's talk about using m. So relative to the font size element, 2m means 2 times of font size element. Okay, so let's assume that we have let's have a text here. Probably we have let's say we have a p here. I think it should be okay. Yeah, we have a text here, right? So this text I'll just set the font size, which is basically the font size, right? Font size should be pixel. I'll just put it like 14 pixel. Then for the height, if I put it to em, you can see it's basically like a double of the current font size, right? Does it make sense? You see, it's basically a current of font size. Example, we have another line of text here. It's basically filled it up. So em is basically the relative font size of the element. 2 means 2 times the font size of the current font, right? So if we have rem, it's basically the root element. The first side of the root font size of the root element is basically based on the font size of outside of this this division. Yeah, so they are basically about the same, but sometimes usually we use rem to bring to build websites lah. But it's basically a concept of they style it based on they provide a unit based on the current font size of the element, because it is a pretty good indication sometimes, because sometimes when your line height you want to 2 times of your your text, or your header you want to 2 times larger than your paragraph, then it's good to use m or rem for that as well. For your viewport or this one, we won't talk about it a lot, but in future definitely you'll talk about use quite a lot of it lah. But I want you to know about percentage, rem or em, and also pixel. Yeah, just use pixel lah. Yeah, pixel is a better thing. Yeah. So since we're talking about height and width, so basically height and width is the same. We talk about different units of for them, and we talk about padding, margin, and border. Just now we talk about it a little bit. I think probably just now I'm not really clear about it. So this is a simple diagram that indicates the padding, the border, and the margin. So example, you have a picture in your home, your family picture in your home. You have a picture, right? Then you have a frame. You attach it on the wall, right? You have a frame with a lot of patterns there. So we call it the frame is the border. It's something like the border. Then the content is basically the picture itself. An example within the border, inside like behind the glass, right? The whole thing. If you put your picture, sometimes we have white space between the frame and also the picture itself, right? We call it called padding. So padding is basically is called padding. And outside the frame itself is called margin. We call it margin. Okay, so let me demonstrate it so that you guys can have a clearer picture on how it's gonna look like, right? So I'm gonna have like a div here. I'm gonna have a div here, right? And I call it class. I'll just say I just call it PBP MBP. So it's yeah, it's basically margin border and padding MBP, right? So I set a width of 100, 500 pixel, and height of 500 pixel. Oh, I didn't set the color. I just set it black, right? You can, let's see. What did I do wrong? Yeah. What I did wrong? I think wrong. MVP. Oh, sorry, it's background color. It's not color. Yeah. This is one important thing. This is something I made some mistakes. Color is for the font itself or the font element for the element. If you want to have a div, have a small section, you want the background to be black. It should be background color, not the color itself. Yeah, usually color we use for elements itself. Okay, so example right here we have this this thing with 500. I think 500 is too large. I think make it 250, 250. Yeah, 250, right? So for example, we want to look at we set a padding. We set a padding of 10 pixel. I'd say 100 pixel. 10 is enough. And I want to set a border. So border, how it works is we set how many pixels it is first. We want to set how the border will take. Is I set 2 pixel, and I set a solid. So basically we can have solid line for the border. We can have dash line and all kind of stuff. And I'll set the color to be red. Then I'll set another one. I think like this first. Then you can see. Padding is 10. Padding is 10 pixel. And we set another one. Margin is 100 pixel. Yeah, okay, first you can see, let's see the margin. When you click here, you can see the yellow thing. The yellow thing outside of the box is called margin, right? Outside of the box is called margin. And we can see, yeah, and we can see, yeah, you can see here as well. We can see it is called margin. It's called the margin there. It's called the margin, which is outside the box itself. Then the border, let me just 200 pixel. You can see, yeah, you can see the red. This is called the border, and the little border between them. And also the padding, probably I set 100 pixel. 100 pixel, right? It's the content itself because it's a background, so you can't actually see it. But it's basically squeezing the thing out. You can see like initially it's 250 and 250 and 250, right? 250 and 250. Because of the padding, it squeezes it out outside a little bit. You can't see the color because I make some mistakes there. Probably I need to do it in this way so that Yeah, you can see. Yeah, so basically you can see this is the content that we have, right? This is the content that we have. The content that we have inside here, right? Then we have this. We already set 250, 250. Let's just make it 200 lah, because I just do 200 already, so that we can see it easier, right? Yeah, so we can see 200 and 200 is for the content itself, right? Then we set the frame content itself. We set a padding of like 10, I think. So we can see the black thing is basically the padding, which is outside of the content. We frame it up a little bit. So it's basically the height, since we add a 10 pixel padding at top and the bottom. So the height becomes 270 and the width becomes 270 as well, 220 as well. Yeah. Then we go to then we can see the border, which is a red border. And outside here is a margin, which is a few hundred pixels here. Yeah. So we can squeeze take things out. This is very important, especially when you have like different cards, right? If you have a card that display like your details and stuff, definitely you'll need to use margin, border, or a padding as well. Yeah. Do you guys get what I mean for padding, margin, and border? Or you have any question regarding it, you can tell me, right? Then font family that we mentioned just now, we can set different font according to your need. Example, you set Lucida Sans here, right? Set Lucida Sans here. And so font size, we talk about it in this. It is in pixel. We just now set the font size for this, I think. Yeah. How do we change the color? Can we change the color of padding? Padding they don't have color. Padding is just a spacing, because if I remove this, padding don't have color. Padding is just a little space within it. We can't set color in padding itself. Yeah, we only can set color in border, because it is based on the concept of the frame itself. Yeah, if you want to set color on the padding itself, then it's basically set color on the whole background, like what I did just now. Yeah, you can see here. Yeah, so this is you can set a little padding here. Yeah, we set a little padding. You can see a little padding. Initially is 250, which should be following the purple box. So if you remove this, the pink box, if you remove this, then you will attach the pink. If you add this padding, then means it will squeeze things up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, you only can set color for border, I think. We only can set color for border. And we don't usually won't set color for padding as well. If yes, you won't like it doesn't. Even if you want to color it, it is not like border like this. You can direct color it. You only can add. You need to use other properties, for example, like other stuff. I'm not pretty sure about that, and you can have a look on that. Yeah. And also, for style for border, padding, and margin, for border, padding, and margin, right? Because there are 4 sides, right? If you want to there are some conditions that you want to set. You want to set the border for 4 sides to be different, which I talked about it just now, right? For example, I want the top to be 10 pixel, the right to be 20, the bottom to be 30, and the left to be 40. I can just do it in this order. It's basically a clockwise. It's a clockwise method. So the top will be 10, the right side will be 20, the bottom will be 30, and the left side will be 40. So they'll accept it in the top right, bottom left, an order like this. And what about for some example, for some situation, right? Your top and bottom, you want it to be unified, like 20 pixel, and left and right, you want it to be 40 pixel. So what you can do here, you just put 2 entries in, you just put 2 values in. And the first value you assume as top bottom, which is the vertical space, the vertical padding, and the second value you put in will assume as the horizontal padding. So you can see here, yeah, here is 20, here is 20, Here is 40 and here is 40. How about let's work on something interesting here. So I'll just put an image and I'll call it wait, I need to set the width. Right, I need to set the class. Yeah, I want you guys to do what you do. You can do the same as me. So I want you guys to actually have I want you guys to have a picture. Basically mimics a frame like that. So you have a picture at the center. I want you to set the padding to be set the padding. Okay. So I think I write it down here. So I want a picture at the center and with a padding of 20 pixel. And I want a red 5 pixel solid frame, which is basically the border. And I want the margin to be 30 pixel for the top and bottom, and 10 pixel for left and right. You guys can also refer to my code, right? You guys can also refer to my code as well. A tips for you is you need to wrap the div, which is basically all the stylings that you want to style the margin, border, and padding, and probably the image is inside of the margin of the div that we have it. Yeah. So here's the tips for you guys. You can refer to my code here, and you can modify it according to the needs, to your needs. Yeah. And I probably after you're done, you can screenshot a little bit. We can see how you actually do it. Yeah. Are you guys clear? Is it too fast or is it not clear? But you guys can answer me. Yeah, is it too fast or is it not clear or you can't understand it? How about others? How do you think about it? Is it a little too hard or anything? Or is it not clear? You can just tell me. I can talk about it more as well. Yeah. It's clear? Okay. Let's ask any question if you have any, okay? So I think this is a core concept as well. Yeah. Sometimes there are many cases that you may use these few things, and usually in university they won't go through detailed CSS or CSS stuff, I think. Yeah, and yeah, I think it works a little bit, and also probably will we'll talk about it more about CSS stuff later, especially about type of selectors. We'll talk about it, and also making site responsive, which is one of the most important things that I want to talk about it as well. Yeah. So I aim to finish this before 3, and we only have 1 hour to work on the portfolio site. But portfolio site, roughly speaking, right? I'll be guiding, but yeah, there are a lot of codes that are quite advanced, and they are not teach in the lesson as well, because there are too many things to cover and too many edge cases. What I wish to do is during the portfolio side, you also can learn things at the same time. Yeah, learn different things at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, so probably can. Okay. Is it okay? So probably you guys can send me a screenshot if you want. You can refer to my code here as well. If you are willing to, right? You can refer to my code here, which results about the same thing. You need to change according to what I mentioned for the task lah. Yeah, change the values and change the units. Change the units and values according to what I talk about. Yeah. It can be a for the picture 200 and 200. It can be a picture. Or you can just use a div with a background color or something. Then you'll be okay. I just want to see how you guys understand the border, padding, and margin. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, like especially working with some other people, a lot of people have confusion on that part. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, so I can see there's a picture. You can see the picture between the red border and the what itself. There are some border. There are some padding. Although the padding, I think I think this padding is not unified 20 pixel for all sides, but yeah, you have the padding, and I see that you have a solid frame, and you have some margin probably. Yeah, I think that's pretty convincing. That's pretty good. Yeah, nice work. How about others? Let me see how you work on it. Yeah, we're on the learning process. So yeah. So I can talk about how we will use it. For example, in later on, right? This is the portfolio site at here. Okay. So for example, you want to have a padding outside here to actually so that you can see, or you can squeeze it a little bit inside, and probably you need like a margin and stuff to actually make it like have a space between these four progress bar. Yeah. The image appear without padding. Style. I think it's called class background image. It's not called. I think it's called class background image, not style image background. It's image BG. It's class equal image BG. I think is this class image BG? I think it's class image BG. It's not style image BG. Style is you want to do it nice styling. If you want to assign a particular CSS rule for them, they need to use class equal to image BG. Yeah, this is called class. You just change that line, style equal image BG to class equal image BG, and it should be working. This is an example on how we use it. That's a pretty nice picture. Yeah, I really like the beam photo. Yeah, so if you want to talk about like how we gonna use it as well, we also there are a lot of sites for using it. My own personal site also using like border padding, and it's an important concept lah. Border padding margin. Yeah. Yeah, at the end I'll show my own personal site as well. Thanks. Yeah, it's working. How about others? Let me see. How are you guys working? Janjie, do you want to show me yours? You didn't? You're not showing yours at all? Yeah, he's my friend. There's a pretty nice potato. I dare you in semester during presentation, you use this as lah. let's see how the lecturers will have a look. Will say. How about others? Do you have any things you want to show me, guys? I'm waiting for you guys. It takes practice. You need to try it out, and you'll slowly see how it's gonna work. Yeah, because of time issue, I'll be continue on the lesson, and also for you guys, right? You guys can actually continue to let's on the meeting chat. I want to have a look so that if you're it may seems right, so that if I can see oh how you do it right, I can give suggestions as well, how we can improve it or anything. Yeah. So let's talk about this. We talk about we are using class, right? You can see. So we are mainly using classes for them. Okay? Class for them, all this, right? Using class to actually Unity to give styling for them. But there's another way of we doing it using the IDs like this. So there are some difference between class and IDs. So let me give you an example. So I'll just delete the whole thing. I think I'll just delete the whole thing. I'll just delete the whole thing, and I will paste some CSS rules in. Yeah, I think this one I'll talk about it later. Yeah. So for example, there are because in each HTML tag there are few type of properties, right? We can use class, which is here, like global like class, right? Or we can use ID. So there are different cases that we use class and ID for styling them. So the main difference I also written here. So if you style element, when you use class, when you use ID, they do about the same thing. So for example, in this, so for this example, yeah, you can see, first I styled it. I've styled both with style h1, which is background color with pink, and text align center. So both are center. And why the first one is actually blue is because I add another ID to assign the color to blue. So the blue color overrides the pink color, so it displays blue color. Yeah. So they actually do the same thing, about the same thing, but they are used in different occasions. So for example, what we do is, for example, class we can use in different elements that share the same styles, right? So we use class for those examples. For example, you have different cards in your website, right? You want to style it in the same style. You want to style it in the same style. Then you probably use class, right? Put the same border, put the same padding, put the same margin. But when you use ID, for example, you want to use ID in some occasion that only this particular element and not other element are not using that style only. For example, like for example, let's say this logo Kim SY. Let's say, yeah, only this whole side, only this one will have this styling, this width, this height, this font size. So we can actually use ID to actually style it, because it's designed. It is designed to actually only style selector is unique, so we only apply the same styling on a single element. While the class selector is not unique, we can apply same styling on multiple elements. So if you want to apply only on single element, use ID to style it. So for ID, right, rather than having a dot before that, using a hashtag before this. Yeah, using a hashtag. Yeah. So this is something that we call this a CSS selector. Yeah, this is basically a CSS selector. And I want you guys to actually, if you want to read more, then you can, yeah, you can read here to learn more about the difference between class and ID. But here is a simple rule. ID when you only style this particular instance, this particular element only. If you want to style multiple elements with the same styling, use class. And mostly we'll use class and ID for some occasions. Yeah. Okay. So are you guys clear about that? Yeah, and also yeah, that's a pretty nice demo and pretty nice picture. During a funeral, I'll put this lah, bro. I'll put this during a funeral. Okay, so I talk about like ID and classes and different stylings. We'll go to more hands-on later as well. But next I want to talk about is called selectors, different type of like nested selectors and stuff. So more details you can go to Mr. Google. So for this example, right? For example, there are cases you want to have multiple. For example, right? You want this one is example. Let's say this one is a H2, right? And you want to style this H2, and this H2, what you want the difference is only the you want to apply the same styling and everything, right? But you want you want it to apply the same styling, but we will call it style H2 lah, just for convenience, right? So we want it to share the same styling as style H1. So what we can do is like basically same as here, using a comma selector, then comma, then we go style H2. Then style H1 and style H2 we will actually share the same. Here, style H1 and style H2 will actually share the same styling. So basically, is we call multi-element selector. So we can style that using same thing using a comma. Yeah. And another descendant, this one we won't talk about it later. Yeah, and child selector, I won't talk about it a lot. And I'll talk about like pseudo class selector. This is something that I like. I use a lot, especially like websites and stuff. Do you guys know hover? So basically, if you hover on a button, for example, if you hover, if you probably, I think this site I don't have anything like that, right? But basically, let's say I go to my okay, you can see when I hover to this text, the green color changed, right? You guys see it? The next button, when I put my cursor on top, which is basically we call it hover, the color of the button changed a little bit. So we can apply the same thing. So basically we have a button, we call button. The background color is red, and when it hovers, we want to change it to basically this called pink. Yeah, I'm a guy, I can't differentiate different colors. Yeah, so we call it just call it this. We want to change the color to pink, right? So we are refresh, right? Yeah. So for example here, when I hover, it becomes pink. When I move my cursor away, it becomes red back. Yeah. So for most of the sites, right? For example, in future, in work, this will usually be something that when you use, confirm you will use, because why we use hover is because we want to tell them, oh, you are gonna this button is working, it's going to be clicked as well. Yeah, so it's just a signal of indication, something like that. Yeah, so this is something that I really like, and I want to share with you guys that within these selectors. Yeah, and there are many of them. Some of them you might not use at all. Some of you in your whole life you won't be using it. But yeah, definitely like child selector, I do use it. And it's pretty convincing, but I won't be covering it here. Definitely is up to your own exploration, but I tell you that there are different types of selectors so that you can select the specific things that you want within a div or a class or CSS, HTML element. Actually, I'll demonstrate one more. I'll demonstrate a child selector, right? For example, in this button, right? In this button, let's just open another div. Okay, in this div, I have a lot of like cards. So you can see the difference is card and cards. So I'll say, let's say the card they have width 200 pixel and height of 200 and background color black. And yeah, you can let's see it here. Oh, So I think I need to put a little margin lah. If not, we can't actually see it. You can see I put the margin, they are spaced it out. Outside them, they are spaced out. Okay, so we can see there are three black. I think another way to differentiate. So cards. Yeah, we can see there are these three black cards in this cards wrapper. So this cards div have a three card, consists of three cards. So you can see here, this have three cards which are in black. It covers all of them. So for example, right, I want in my cards, right, I want to set a particular styling for my individual card that I don't want to do it on here. Example, they don't have this card. I want to style them individually. I want to change their color. Example, right. What I can do is I can use this child selectors. I say all the div inside cards will have like background color of white. You can see it actually changed it. So what he do is he says that, okay, this is my cards div, right? This is my cards div. Inside my card div, any div element, which is this a div element, this a div element, this a div element, I want to change its color to this etiquette white. So he will actually perform it. So it is a multiple selector without using any is a child selector. We just select the child, which are all div, and we just set the color to etiquette white. Yeah, this one example that we use this selector. Yeah. Are you guys clear about it? You guys are like, I want all of you guys to write at the chat. If you're not clear or something, just tell me. If you are clear about it, you can just tell me as well. Yeah, I want everyone to write on the chat. Yeah, a little bit. Is it too fast? Is it getting too fast? Child sector not that clear. Okay, I'll talk about it later. More about it. About others? How about others? Yeah, any questions, any stuff? Others, how about you guys? I want to listen to your feedbacks. Yeah, so let's come back to child sector a little bit. I can't stay for too long. We have a lot of plans later as well. So child sector is basically say that in this particular div, which is basically this div, this div, the div with this CSS rules, right? I want anything below it within this tag, within this card, like the div with this card tag, that have children, which is basically a div tag. So we did a div tag. So for example, the cards here, this is the cards, right? The cards, all his children are here. These are all the children. So all the children with this div tag, I want to set the background color to ethnic white. This is basically how it works. Yeah. If I want to set like I just say, how about just say border 10 pixel solid dotted. Let's put dot. Yeah, so 10% dotted white. I just add of them. All the div inside my cards, which are all the cards here, they will have a dotted line with this beige color. Yeah, this is basically how we're gonna select. This is the rule that they have. This is something I use occasionally, but definitely sometimes it's better to use like define class for that. But this is useful for some occasions. For example, this occasion, you want to set all the div within these cards with particular styling, then you can do it like this. How about others? Do you guys understand, or can I proceed next, or you guys want to have some time to digest? I wish you guys to feedback, everyone. I think we have like 20 something participants. And I want you guys to write in the chat, right? Do you guys want to proceed, or you guys want to have some time to digest, or any questions? You can leave it here. I'll try to answer. Yeah. How about others? I wish we to learn, listen about how about others. We have like 20 plus here, and everyone can answer here. Answer me and listen. Yeah, I wish to have your feedback as well. Or you guys can just put this like raise hand or like or applause or something. Yeah, or you can just like this comment. I wish to get feedbacks whether I should continue or I should stay here. Yeah. Okay, so if no further question or something, I will just proceed. At the same time, you can just leave your questions and any queries that you have lah. Okay, so this is one of the main aspect that I want to discuss today, which is basically making site responsive. So today we can see many people view like websites other than your computer, such as smartphones, a tablet, and also it's important to make your website readable for people from all kind of device, right? For example, someone use phone to read your website. Someone use like iPad to read. Someone use 13-inch laptop. Someone use 20-inch laptop. Sometimes use 29-inch laptop. Then your website should be able to be viewed and should be working normally on all these laptop size with different screen width and with different screen height. So it's very important for your website to be able to do that, which is also for example our portfolio site we are building later is also responsive. For example, if you move to a mobile view, it'll be a mobile view, right? It'll be a mobile view, something like this, right? If not, it will be a mobile view, and the nav bar will become a sliding bar, or it's something like this, or it should be responsive, right? For example, if it is getting very wide, it should stop at a certain point. Yeah, this one I think it's a bug I didn't fix. Okay. So basically your website should be able to scale to different screen size lah. Yeah, this is a summary that I want to talk about, and this is very important. And because not many people teach about this, and also your university lecturers also, even you go through the courses, they won't talk to you about media queries or like how to style your website to how to make your website responsive, which I think is something lack in the university syllabus as well. So here's an example on how we're gonna work now. So what we're gonna use is we're gonna use something called media query. So media query. Okay. So I'll just paste this code and you can see how it works, right? Okay. Okay, so when we shrink to a certain size, it will turn pink, else it will become red. Okay, so you can keep the attention on the width here. Like currently the screen width is 1283, something like that. So when we go towards like 700 and I think it's 599. Yeah, 599. When we go to around 599, the width is like our width go to around 599. I think we'll turn pink. Yeah, see, it will turn pink. Will turn pink, and if we go to a certain, if we go 600, it will turn red. If we go 599, it will turn pink, it will turn red. So what the media query do here is like for different screens width, because it's based on the user's screen, right? For example, I have a very wide screen, the width is probably 1000 few pixel. If you're in your phone, it's probably 400 pixel width. So for different screen width, we can set like different layout, different color, and different styling, so that it can accommodate for different device with the different screen width. So for this example, what we do here, okay, we do here is with the body, we set the background color to red normally. So the mean width of 600, with the media query with mean width of 600, we set the background color to red. So what it basically says is when the width is more than 600, the background is red. So mean width minimum 600. Other than like anything more than that will be red color. The background will be red color. And this one, the maximum width is 559. So within the 5590 to 559 range, we'll set the background color to pink. So when the width is less than 559, the background will be pink. Here's the logic behind it. So until it works until this maximum. So basically, what it will say is, okay, this CSS rule will works if the until the maximum width of 599. And this one where it says that this CSS rule will works with the minimum width minimum width of 600. So it's the minimum of 600 is like after 600 only these rules will apply. If not, if it's lower than 599, then this rule will apply. Here is how it actually works for responsive design. So for example, right, I think I will show you the portfolio side. Here's a good example. So if you go to a certain width, right, definitely you can see currently the nav bar is in this order. It's basically in a line, in the same order, like in the line order. But it is not feasible because if you go to a phone, if you go to the phone size, right, 400 pixel, then there are not enough space for the top nav bar to actually accommodate all these different navigations. So example, if you go to like a mobile size, you can see that you want to change it into this drop down navigation bar. Yeah. So what we basically do is until we set like, okay, minimum width for 600, right? We display the nav bar in this order. When the width is like less than 500, example, then we set the styling of the navigation bar to something like this. This is how we actually use in real life, especially in navigation bar, or like something like this, right? When you go to a certain width, you can see this one we put it downwards, and we basically move the picture from right to downwards, and this one we put it on top. Right? Previously it's left and right. Then we go to a certain width, because if we still squeeze it like this, if we still squeeze it to until like 400 pixel, then this will be the width will be very small, and this will be both of them will be very small, which are not visible in a mobile view. So rather than aligning left and right, we move it downwards. We move it downwards when the screen width go to a certain height, go to a certain size. Yeah. So this is basically what the concept is. The concept is like we want to apply different design rules for them, different CSS rules for different screen width, so that you can accommodate different size of screen. Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? Or you have any questions? Because I feel like this is one of the important thing. Yeah. I think if you have this in your mind, definitely it will be a good thing that when you're designing a website, or you have another consideration to think on mind. Yeah. Clear? Yeah. Okay. How about others? Okay. So this is basically how it is. And we want, and this is a very important concept that you want to think in your mind. So when you're designing a website, you should think of the responsiveness. If not, there are people, if you only design for a desktop view, what if someone from mobile, they want to look at the website? It's not totally visible. Or if you just squeeze it to a mobile, then it will be like, totally not visible. The words will be very, very small. Everything is so squeezed up, and it's not ideal for people. Yeah. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to work on this personal portfolio website. And also, let me check anything that I want to talk about. Yeah, next I want to talk about flex and also grid layout, which is also very important when we working on responsive website. Yeah. So you can look at the flex guide here. There are a lot of attributes here. Yeah. So basically a flex container is like Flexbox is we we align the stuff, the different div in the container into a certain box style, like a flexing style. Like it can move it and it can be ordered in certain style. We call it Flexbox. Yeah. So I think I did created like a few codes here. Right. I can demo for you guys. So okay, we have this. For example, we have this Flexbox. And example, a scenario is you have a website with list of all the top achievers in your class. Okay, top achievers. And your if it's in a desktop view and a widescreen, definitely you want to see from left to right, then left to right, then go to the next line, left to right, left to right. But what if in the mobile view, you don't want to do that, right? You want to do it like top to bottom, you scroll it, because the screen is very it's not wide, it's very tight, the screen is like 400, 500 pixels usually on mobile phone. Yeah, so you don't want it to be at the same alignment as this. So what you can do, what we do is using Flexbox Design, we can make it like example to mobile view, we align it through a top-down view. Yeah, if not, if it's a wider view, it's a wider screen, then we try align from left to right, left to right, left to right. So how it works, we can have a look here. So basically we have something called the container. This is ID container. We provide a styling called flex, and we assign the flex wrap, we call flex wrap to wrap. So what is flex wrap to wrap? Flex wrap to wrap is basically like when we squeeze it to a certain size, if we have like, for example, this takes 500, this takes 500, this takes 500, this takes 500, it takes 200. The width takes 200 pixel. And if now our screen is 199 pixel, means that we can't fit 4 of them, right? We can't fit 400. Yeah, 1000. I'll say, but okay, I'll say this 200, 200, 200, 200, which they will accommodate. They will take about 800 pixel of width of the screen. What if now our screen turns 799, which is about here, example. Now we turn about 799. So what he do is he will wrap it to the next line. He will wrap this thing to the next line. He'll wrap the one that overflow. This one will overflow what? You'll wrap to next line. You can see 4 move to here, and so just now 8 is here, right? You move to here, and all they will align to a certain flex style. Yeah. This is basically the concept. It's very complex. It takes me time to learn about it. So basically, I'll talk about is we can align it in a very we can align our containers, our stuff, our div in a responsive way that can accommodate to different screen size. Yeah, and this is very useful. Yeah, so we do here margin color and all kind of stuff. Yeah, I won't go into deep because if you go into deep, it will take another lesson. And another one is called grid layout, which also you can have a look here. So grid layout is like an extension of it's basically an extension of Flex, because Flexbox, right? Flex display layout is very rigid. We can't set like this box takes more, this box takes less. Example, if you go into certain only if you go into very defined class rule, only you can set them very defined rules for them. You can't you can see, right? For example here, all they have the same size. You can't have like specify like like box on the right will take more width, box on the left will take lesser width. We can't do that. Yeah. So grid is like an extension of that, and we can use like a grid containers and stuff to actually display them to make it very flexible and very responsive to different needs. So here you can see. Right, we can in grid we can do it like this, like it's about the same as here, but we can do say, okay, the third grid on the right, we want it to take like 3/5 of the screen, then these two take only 1/5. So we can do something you can do a layout you are quite special, like something like this. Yeah. Then after that, when you go to a certain size, we can actually make it move on it. Yeah. Definitely, they can also be responsive, like flex wrap like this. The flex wrap to actually move it to a next line or anything like that. They also can do this, but I didn't do it in this example. Yes, I want to just show you about the extension that he can give. He can give like more how to say, like more defined control on the elements alignment and displays in a certain container. Yeah, so you can see here, basically we have a grid and we have a bunch of grid item inside this grid. So yeah, the grid, we have a background color of green and it display in a grid, padding of 20. So we can, outside we have padding of 20. The grid column gap is 20 pixel. So we can see grid column gap between the columns. What these columns is actually in top-down form. First column, second column, third column. So it's first column, second column, third column. The gap is 20 pixel. And the grid row gap is 10 pixel. One row 2, row 3, row 4. Row is 10 pixel, gap is 10 pixel. And the template or the grid template columns is 20 pixel auto. 200 pixel auto. So it's like we set this 200 pixel, we set this 200 pixel, and the third part of the grid, you can see third part of the grid is auto width. So the width is like depends on the screen size. So when you move it, you automatically move according to it. So we can set like more defined rules like that lah. Yeah. So and also this is just restyling the particular grids lah, the particular grids item. Yeah. So we can have like a grid templates row, and we'll also have like grid templates row, grid templates column, grid row and stuff, a grid area. Yeah, we even can like align it like header, main, sidebar, footer to the way that we want using grid, and the grid is very, very useful. And yeah, definitely for you guys to explore it for your own time, because it takes a lot of time. It takes to learn about the concept as well. Yeah, I'll talk about it in a brief way so that you can know that we have something like this. We can do something like that. We have something that can do this, and we can probably in future can know that, oh, this probably can suit my needs. And to introduce you guys to this few things only lah. Yeah. Yeah, I think basically that is for Flex and Grid. You guys have any questions? Yeah, do you guys have any question? Or you guys are okay with it? Any questions, or should I proceed? Any things that you want to mention? You want me? Yeah, definitely you need some time to digest. You need to do some own readings and stuff. I can't tell everything, but definitely you need to spend some time to try it out. I think the most important thing is you try it out at your home. When you are alone or something, you are working on a computer, like you try it out, this layout, oh, like this, you can see how it works together. Yeah. And also build stuff lah. And also when you build stuff, how I actually learn is I want to build this stuff. I want to build the goal. Then I will find the necessary path to actually do what I want. Then that it will help me to learn. Yeah. Okay. If you have any question, just put it there. Now we will go to working on our portfolio side lah. Yeah. So you can see there's a starter file here. You open it. It is a GitHub repository. It's basically a starter file which I already created the. I already created what do I say there? I already created the navigation bar. So basically it's an empty thing. And let me show you. When you open this file, it's an empty thing. So what I want you to do is actually where is it? I think I have my starter file here as well. Yeah, so when you open this file, it is basically a empty file, empty HTML with a basic navigation nav bar. Because the nav bar is complex to do, it includes JavaScript. So I actually created a starter file. So you guys, we can start from here together. Yeah. So you guys go to this repository. There are two ways you can download this. First is if you have Git and you know how to use Git, then you can git clone it and then clone the link. If not, then you can just download the zip and you unzip it and you open it on your laptop. Yeah. Download the zip. Yeah. Download the zip file. Yeah, I'll wait for you guys to download. So you download the zip file, then you open, then you do what we do initially, then you open the folder. How to use Git? I'll talk about it later. That's a long story. I won't talk about it for this workshop, but definitely there's some future consideration. Yeah, you can search online as well. And it's a version controls command line. If you want to download via Git, I think everyone you just download zip lah. If you want to download by Git, definitely you need to install Git first in your local PC. Then only you will do something like I do here. For example, I'll do the same thing so you can. Okay, so for example. Okay, so for example, I think do you guys know what is terminal, what is command line? If you guys know terminal and command line, so what programmers and we usually do is we do a lot of things using terminal and command line, like very hacker look thing, right? So what I do usually is I have Git, then I clone this to my local. So for example, now I'll let you see what I have in this directory. I have portfolio tag, xcam portfolio. I want to download this starter, so I'll just copy I'm using SSH, but using HTTPS works as well. Yeah. So I just say git clone, and I paste the link, and I'll install this repository to my laptop. Yeah. So I xcam web portfolio master. Then I actually open this repository in my VS Code. I didn't touch about this command line because it's another advanced things. If you learn this, it doesn't at least it doesn't help to learn HTML CSS as well. But definitely for you guys to explore, it's very interesting. Then you already download it to a local to a local device lah. Basically, you git clone Git is a command line interface CLI. Then you can help you do version control and stuff. And yeah, that's basically it is. But you can do the same thing by download zip, then you unzip it, then you open it in your repository, open the directory, then you can see this same as me. Yeah. So I'll wait you guys to download download this repository. Yeah. Download this repository, download this folder, so that we can work on this together. Yeah, because we don't have much time left. We only have 1 hour about. So probably we need to rush a little bit on this as well. Yeah. Once you guys finish downloading and open the file, you can see as me, you have a common index.html and readme.markdown, then we are cool to go. And also probably you can have a look here. You can see something different is previously in our practice. We write our HTML we write our CSS in the same file as HTML. But the other way is we actually can link this file to the directory it is, so that we can write CSS in a different file called style.css. Yeah. Yeah, we can link it like this. We can separate it out because, example, right? If you think we write our CSS in here, we didn't even start. We write some like pre-stuff, right? Having a navigation bar. It already takes 175 lines. If we put it here, then this file will take 200 to 300 lines, and it's hard for a programmer or we to actually find the thing to read it, and also to find the stuff that we need. So it's better that we separate it out. Yeah, we just have like a link, relevance is a style sheet. because CSS is called cascading style sheet, and common CSS style.css. We just link to the styles.css folder. Yeah, if you guys had downloaded the repository and open it in your text editor, then definitely you guys can tell me. Then I will open. Yeah. How about others? Others, you can tell me. Had you guys opened it? Yeah. Open. How about others? Are you guys there now? Open. How about others? Have you guys open? If you guys open, just put you just put the emoji like. Just tell me like. It's okay, or you just raise your hand as well. Yeah, or raise your hand. Yeah, if you're already done, open the file. Yeah, I want to make sure everyone on the same pace. Just raise your hand if you have opened the file. You're on the same space as me. Yeah. Yeah. Raise your hand, guys. About others, just like a few of you, like, come on, guys. Come on, a few of us still not open the file yet. Yeah, we can take your time a little bit. Let's start at 3:10, and it might be a little bit rushed. We might be copying pasting a little bit of code because some are quite hard and quite advanced. Yeah. Yeah, you can raise your hand. Come on, guys. Open. Yeah, raise your hand once you open it. Yeah. Okay, I can see more and more are getting their setup done. Okay, I think the others, you guys try to set it up, and I think I should continue to try to catch on time because I have other things going on later after this as well, so I need to rush it up a little bit. Okay, so when you come to this starter file, right, can you guys open it? You guys can open it, right? If you guys open it, and you can see, do you guys have the same thing as me? If you same thing as me, you can write the chat as well. Yeah, so you can see here. When I already added the styles and JavaScript and label JavaScript because in order to make the logic for having this responsive UI, we will need some JavaScript. Yeah, so yeah, now you can see we have a navigation bar which is totally responsive. Yeah, you can go to home, about, skills, and contact. Yeah. So now what we're going to learn and what to do is to code on the contents, right? Like code on what we actually intend to, our goal is to create a website like this, right? Okay, so beforehand, let me tell you a little bit about what I have done for you so that you can know if you want to customize, you can do it. Yeah, so you can see here, this because I'm using H at the time. Yeah, so yeah, so shit. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, I think I need to refer to my. Okay, so first thing, you can see this metadata. So meta tag is basically a metadata. Metadata is something for the browser to know, to read. So for this one, he tell the what he says is he tell the mobile device to use viewport, which is the same as a device rather than using another one. So this one actually help you if you want to make your website visible for better for like mobile view, then definitely you need to add this line, right? So that they will, example, right? If mobile view, they go to a certain width like this, right? If you don't add this line, they sometimes will categorize this as 1000 pixel rather than 400 pixel, 500 pixel. So this one is to actually help us to have a better responsive design lah. I won't go into that. Yeah, and for this line, we actually link to the style sheet that we have. And for these 3 lines, we are using a Google font, which is actually you can customize yourself as well. So you can search Google font on Google. You search Google font on Google. Okay, that's not funny. Okay, so you search Google font on Google, and you can search for the font that you like, and you can this is what I do lah. Okay, usually when I want to find fonts rather than the default font, which is very ugly, then I just, for example, I like this font, right? I like this font. I click on this. Remove it. Yeah. So if I want to take like 400. I add 400. I want to add semi-bold. Usually what I did is I take normal, semi-bold, and bold. Then I just copy this part to the place that I put just now. And also I can just state in the rule in a CSS file, the font family is this. The font I'm using is Inter. So if you go to style.css, you can see did I set it? I think I didn't set it. Yeah, but basically you can set it. You can set it your font. Yeah, I do set a body font. Yeah, this is a font. This is data. I'll talk about this. This is called Css Variables. Yeah. Yeah. So this basically it is, and the box icon. Because in the site, right, you will see like these icons, right, like CSS, HTML, these icons, or like yeah, basically these icons, because if not, you will need to import the file itself. So what we do is we actually import, get from this provider library, so that we can use their default icons that we need. For example, BX menu. When you move the screen, you have this one. It's based on the menu icon. So we have using this thing lah, so that we don't need to import our own icons or import our own icons to our local device. We can just use theirs. Yeah, this is the thing. And also behind here, you can see I'm using this JavaScript package called scroll review. So basically, if you see our final site, when you scroll, it will slowly review like animation effect. It's all based on this thing. And also because we do write a little bit of logic of JavaScript, which we are not covering. So I actually prepare this so that we already written all the JavaScript that may be needed, and we put it in. Yeah, put into this here, and we access it here, so that this file can access the JavaScript file, and JavaScript file can actually access on this particular HTML file. Yeah. So are you guys clear? I think, is it a little bit too fast or too Is it okay, guys? Can you guys get it? If it's too fast, and probably I will slow down a little bit. Okay. Should we proceed to coding? Proceed to our work, right? So first thing we'll do one by one lah. Okay, we'll do one by one. First thing I'll say hi. I'm Kim Cheng Yong. First thing before that, you guys need to change a few things. First is to change the name to your name or your own logo. Right? My name is Kim Cheng Yong. I just call Kim SY to make the logo sicker. Yeah. You can change the name here. Yeah. Then we can change the name and also change the name here. These two names. Yeah. Then we will directly go to work. Okay. Are you guys ready, guys? If you guys ready, click on you write chat ready. Then we go on it. I want to wait like at least 20 people say ready, and I'll start. Yeah, I want to engage you guys a little bit. Yeah, just say you are ready. Let's go, guys. Are you guys ready? Ready? I can hear you. Ready, abang? Nice, nice. Okay. No need yes sir. I'm just a friend of you. Okay, so let's go to the work. Okay, so let's start it. So I will start with, we call it, because I have written some pre-CSS thing at here as well. So this one, what we call, right, this is called a CSS variable. So we can see there's something called, you call it VAR, color secondary, because there are many occasions that you might use the same value over and over again. For example, the color code, right? You don't want to always copy paste the hashtag 79EA AEB2, right? You don't want to always use writing the same thing. So we can use variable to actually map that value to this place using VAR -- color secondary. Okay, so let's go to the work directly. So the first thing you want to build, right, is you want to build this section. You guys can see it, right? I want to build the name and this card itself. Yeah, so let's go to it. Okay, so I would say this is like a home. I'll call it home. So first I'll need to create a div, and I'll call the class L-main, which I already have it. I think I already have it, right? Yeah, I'll add it later. Yeah, L-main. So in this L-main, I'll just create a section class, which is basically same as a div as well. So I'll call it a home, a BD grid, and ID, I will call it home. Okay, I'll tell you why we actually need this ID. Okay, so actually why we need this ID is we want to promote on-page navigation. So for example, we click on about, we want to go to about. We want to click on skill, we go to skill. How it actually works is we're actually using an A tag. We're actually using this A tag, he href to a hashtag about. So for example, hashtag home, he will go to home with this ID home. You go to you'll move to forwards to the section or div with the ID called home. This is another thing with A tag lah. Okay. So we already have created a section. So inside this section, right, we want to have our this text and also a picture. Okay. So you guys just follow what I write. Just make sure it's the same, because if not, probably because later we'll write a CSS class as well. Make sure it's the same. Yeah, you can change it later. Yeah, so I create a div. We call it a class called home info. Yeah, this is basically a way that I actually style my CSS class rather than call like anything that I want. This is a more organized way, like home. Here is called home, right? This is a home called home info, and here's another one we call home __ image. Yeah. So actually using this naming convention, which is we call it BEM CSS naming. I think naming, yeah, is BEM CSS naming. It's just basically the order is like what module it is and what details of this what this division will be working on. Okay, so yeah, so here I'll create a H1 because we need to create a H1 for this, right? Hi, my name is Kim Cheng Yong. So I'll call the class name called home __ title, because we are this one is actually the title of the site, right? One of the title. Then I'll say hi, I am Kim Cheng Yong. Then probably is currently I still not styling. Yeah, you can see hi, I'm Kim Cheng Yong. Yeah, I already have hi, I still not aligned yet because I haven't finished writing the CSS. So we had complete the home info. We have a home info. We have a home title. Then we have a home image. In the home image, we need to have an image tag, right? We need to have an image tag. So I'll need you to import your own image, and you create a folder called assets. Assets, right? Assets. Then another inside this assets, another folder we call image. Then you upload the image here. Yeah. So for example, I'll upload my own picture. If you guys want me to be slower, just tell me. I'll just import my image here. Yeah, and I'll rename it. I'll rename this file called profile-pic. Profile picture.png or anything. Yeah. So what I'll do here is I need to go to assets folder and I go to image. Assets folder, you have another image directory and profile pic png. Yeah. Alternative, I'll just call it profile picture. So let's see here how it goes. Okay. Currently there are no styling, and you can see we already have this this header and also this image, right? So now what we're gonna do next is we're gonna we gonna work on how styling the styling this part lah. Yeah, okay, to make it responsive and make it look like this, right? So it's left and right. When we move it, then the image go on top and this go below. Okay. So let's go to style the CSS. Let's write a normal. Let me refer to my notes. I can't remember everything. Okay, so what I have here is I need to style home. I think I need to style home first. Yeah, so I'll just put it on the bottom. I'll say home. Right, I want to display flex. So basically, what I want to do, because we can see home is wrapping two divs to these two div. I want to make this two things responsive so that it can move top and bottom later. So I need to using flex, which I actually mentioned there. So flex direct. I say I'm using flex. So first you can see, yeah, I'm using flex. You go to left and right. And also I want to mention about the flex direction as well, because I want it to be in row direction. Basically, so I want to be in left and right. It's basically like this, about the same. Then I want to align the item center. Align item center. So the align item center means that they are sent, like previously, if I didn't have this line, they are both aligned on top. Basically, they are aligned on the top. If you align center, example, this width is 200 pixel, they will align at about from 100 pixel point here. It's in the center. Yeah. So if you want to inspect it, right, can see previously, yeah, this is how it is previously. Like you can see, they are on the same division, they are on the same div, and they are on the top, attaching on the top. Then if we actually add this, if refresh, now you can see they are now on the middle of the div, on the mid of the div. They are aligned in the center of the div. They are basically center vertically center, I think so. Yeah, vertically center. Yeah. What are the class you created? Some of them are already written, but most of them are not written. Yeah, some of the parts are not written. Other class you created, newly created. Nah, you need to follow with me lah. Follow with what I written here. Yeah. You follow with what I written here. Yeah. Can you guys follow? Is it too fast? Yeah. So you can see now it kind of works. It kind of works if you like if you like move it, it still doesn't work, right? Because it doesn't become responsive for now. So still few things that you need to do is we need to justify the content center, because if you see, right, it is kind of not justified center until now, right? It is not center. Like the text is on left and all kind of stuff. I'm going to justify it center. Justify the text and all, justify everything center, right? Okay, justify things to be center of the page, and we want to flex. This is one of the most important things. We want to flex wrap and wrap reverse. So there are two types of wrap. One is wrap, one is wrap reverse. So I'll let you see how wrap reverse works. So for example, wrap reverse is once you see you cannot fit the words and image, you start to wrap. Wrap reverse is like moving. Reverse is because usually the wrap is like the one on the left on the top, the one on the right on the bottom. Wrap reverse is the different, the one on the right on the top, and the one on the left on the bottom. Yeah. So if it is wrap reverse, then we can see it is in this way. But if it is in wrap, then it is inverted. The text is on top. Yeah. So we are using wrap reverse so that we can have a better view on how it gonna goes. And because of a few styling stuff, I want to set the margin left to be auto, and also margin right as well, so that we can ensure that it's always on center when we moving. Yeah, actually this doesn't matter a lot, but I think if we remove this code, it should be working as well. Yeah, it's working, so we don't need to add that code. So you can see it is kind of work, right? But we definitely go into some deep stuff with this lah. Yeah. Yeah. So now let's go. We already align this home thing, right? We need to go with like home title, home info thing. So probably home title we can home title we can, because we can see the one of the possible problem is when we move the text is like we don't want it to be left to right, we want it to be center. So text align center. Yeah, I want it to be center. This is just the thing I want to add lah. Yeah. And the text, it seems okay. The image, right? There's some problem with the image. It is too squarey. Do you feel that? It's like very square. I don't like that. I want it to be a little bit curvy like this. It seems more natural. Probably just me. Yeah. So it just seems more natural. And what I want to do is I want to have home image, because you can see why I actually do this is because I didn't assign a tag for image, so I can tell about, okay, I want the image inside the home image division div, and I want to style it with the width 400 pixel, border radius up to 20 pixel. Border radius is basically we took the border, the radius of the border to 20 pixel, and you can see after we make these changes, it becomes a little bit curvy. Yeah, you can see that, right? It's a little bit curvy, which I personally think is a little bit nicer, and I like it more. Yeah, I like it more. Yeah. And now another problem that we see, right, is do you feel like this whole thing is too attached on the top, right? It's too close to the nav bar. I want some space for them, so I want the whole division to leave some space for them. And also when I actually move this together, I feel like the text and this thing are too close together. I want some gap between these two things. So I can say here, top home, div, margin of 10 pixel. Yeah, you can see. Now we can see that there's some margin between them. There's some space here, and also when I move it up, there's some space as well at the bottom, at the bottom and the top and left and right. Yeah. So this is what I implement. That's for the head, for the intro portion. Are you guys okay with this? Do you guys are you guys caught up, or you guys are do you guys manage to do this? If yes, probably you can screenshot and send in the chat, and I'll see how you guys are doing. It's too fast. Okay. Okay, definitely. Or I will try to slow it down. I can slow a bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. How about I'll review it again, right? I'll review it again so that I can type all the code. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I understand. This is not from expectation previously. Okay, definitely. Okay, so I'll just go through a little bit with it again here, and I'll paste the code here. I'll paste the code in at the chat, right? Probably this is not the most ideal way because it might be look messy. And here is the part for the stuff, and this is a part that, and yeah, sorry about that. I'll try to do it in the paste, to adjust the paste. Okay, so I'll just review it again. So what I had done. Yeah, so you can see here, we actually have this home. I actually create this element, which is we call like just an element. Yeah. Then this is a division that we tell that okay, we are starting in this division, and we have a section. We could create a section. We call it home, and pedigree because we already have some advanced styling before that later. Yeah. And it's the idea of home because we want to have this navigation. When we click on home, it will bring us to home. If you click on other places, it will bring us to other places. You know, whenever you click on home, it will bring us to home. Click on home, it will bring us to home. Your about, it will bring us to about because using the A tag. Then we'll go to inside this home grid. Inside this home, we'll have two main div. So we have two main div. So the first div is we contain the information, which is hi, I'm Kim Sheng Yong. Yeah, so hi, I'm Kim Sheng Yong is actually here. And the other div is actually the home image. We actually display the image. Okay, then we go back to the point. We're having this home. We can see that home is actually wrapping these two elements, these two div which contain the information here, and so the image. So what we can operate here is we can operate some responsive, some CSS to make it responsive. We want to operate some CSS to make it responsive, so that we can actually work on it. We can actually have a look, so that we can actually have different have it responsive for different mobile, for different device. Yeah. So what we do here is we display as flex, which I mentioned just now before, not very clear, but you guys can just follow on that part. And we flex the direction to row. So we align it in the row direction. So you can see here is a row direction. So it's a row direction, like two content. Usually if you put it on HTML, it's like bottom and top and bottom. If you put it on row, we flex direction row, then it will be left and right. Right. Then we align this item to center. So previously they are attached to the top. They are aligned like this is the whole container. They are like stick to the top. We tell align item center so that they will align it at the center of the division, which is they align all the content at the center of all the children's here. The home will align all the children's here to its center, to the center of itself. Yeah. Then we justify the content center is basically move it to the center, and we flex wrap reverse is basically so that we can actually wrap it. You know, when our width cannot accommodate, the width of our screen cannot accommodate both of them together in one screen, what we do is we wrap it. We just wrap it in the reverse direction. In usually direction, the left one will be moved on top, and the right one will be moved to the bottom. But in this way, we wrap reverse. It's on the reverse direction, so the image will be moved to the top, which on the right will move to the top, and the text will go to the bottom. Yeah. So this is what we do here. Then we found that there are some problem with the spacing because they are too attached. They are too close to each other. So we say that okay, this is home, all the div below it, the div below it. So this is a div below it. This is a div below it. I want it to have a margin of 10, so that outside. So basically, this text have a margin of 10, and this image they have a margin of 10. So that you can see their spacings around here, so that they won't be so close together. And the text align center is because we found that in some situation, if the words go to the next line, if it's aligned on the left, it's not that engaging, not that nice. I want it to be aligned at the center, so I say text align at the center. Then we go to home image, right? So home image, inside home image, only we touch the image tag. So we see that we want the particular image to have a width of 400 and a border radius of 200 pixel. Border radius 200 pixel is to make it have a rounded corner. Yeah. Is it okay? Is it clearer now? Or this space is okay? Is it this space okay? Yeah, probably you can't get all the points because some of them are not contained in the lectures. But I want you to get a gist of the concept on how you can look at the approach, how we actually go to work on this, how we actually use these different technologies. Probably some more detailed things we can't talk it verbally. Probably some you spend some time reading and look at the example and try it out. But this is basically what we have lah. If you already have this, right? You already have this in front on your screen. You can screenshot it and put it at the chat so that we can see together. Whoa, you guys have all of us are in the same progress now. Okay. Yeah. So let's go to about me. Let's go to about me. Hi, I'm Meow. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you can apply the. Yeah, you can apply the thing. Yeah. Yeah, you can apply I think you can apply border radius to let your cat more cuter. Nice, guys. Nice. That's some pretty good work. Yeah, probably I can't cover everything, but let me work on what I can work on now. Okay, so I can't cover everything here. Let's I'll try to cover as much as we can. Yeah, so let's go to about me. Is it okay, guys? This is a pretty interesting thing because if someone go to a website, definitely you want someone to know more about you, right? You want someone to know more about you. yeah, definitely you want someone to know more about you. So you have a like about me section, and let's go to the about me. Yeah, at last, after this event, I will share my code as well to everyone. Then everyone can have a look. Yeah. And now let's go to the about me section. So the about me section is pretty easy. So we have a this, we have about, and we have a section. So this section thing is basically I will have a CSS styling for the section. I think I already have, right? I don't have, but I'll add it on later. Yeah. So we have something called section that you want to style this part on the section. Then about section and called ID about, so that we can actually nav it below. Then the code I will copy paste it later. Yeah. So class section title, I'll just call it about me. Right, about me. Then I have a div, which is basically the about container, because I want a container to actually wrap this section, wrap my description, right? So I'll call it about __ container. Then I'll have a P inside here, which talk about so this is a description of myself. Now you can see, we can see the text is actually coming out, right? About me, and the text is here, right? Then what we want to do is actually add the styling now. So first thing, I will need to add like sections stuff, right? So wait for a while. So I'll just copy the section code here. Right, section code. Like section codes here. So basically this section title and section title, because section title, why I actually create a class for it, because we will reuse here. So for example here, section title, this is the section title, this is the section title, we might reuse it. So I actually create a class for it, and I already coded some stylings and for this side, right? I can see that. You can see that it is here. It's perfectly here now, right? Okay, and if we remove it, yeah, it's totally fine, right? It's totally fine. Then the other thing is we want to move this text, right? Because this text is aligned to the left. We want to center it, right? We want to center it, and also we want to add stylings to the about thing. Like the about content seems a bit weird. It's still not as nice as the one before. So we want the container. So I want the about text line center. So first I want align text center. Yeah, you can see the text is center now, and it should be pretty fine now. But the problem is we see that currently there's some problem with this, which is basically we found out that there are two, how to say, they are two attached to left and right. So I will solve it later, because I think I'm still facing this bug here. But I'll solve it later because I want to cover the skills part. I think this is one of the most interesting thing that we have. Yeah. Can you guys get this part done? Is it okay? I'll just copy paste the code here as well. So for about, here's what I have. right? You can just paste it in and you can try it out as well. Yeah, because if you want to build a fully fledged portfolio site, probably a few hours session like this might not be sufficient, and so making it responsive is more harder. Yeah, but I think you can at least you have something to if you have something to work on like this, it also motivates you guys as well to work on this project, you know, to make a portfolio site for yourself. For example, I have my own portfolio site. Yeah, you guys can copy it. So that I have my own portfolio size. This is my own portfolio size. This is my own portfolio. I lazy to style it, but this is basically how it is lah. I have my own portfolio size as well. Yeah. Okay. Can you guys make it to this part? If yes, definitely you guys can screenshot to me. Yeah, I want to see how you guys working on it now. Yeah. Yeah, but format doesn't work because I think if you are using Qingwei, I think if you are using, you mean the format of, or you mean the text format, right? Because I think if you are using Notepad++, there are no auto formatting. You need to do manually formatting. Yeah. So that's why it's sometimes recommended to install like something like this. It might help as well. Yeah. So 123, I can see you have something here. Yeah, some introduction. Yeah, so you can adjust it based on your needs later as well. So for example, right, and also probably if you want to explore how we work on that, right, you can explore it here. Right. Yeah, I think this one can be solved like this. Okay, is it okay? How about others? Probably it's a little bit too fast. I really realized that. Yeah. But let's try how we can work on it. Let's try how we can work on it. Okay. How about others? Can you, if you have something on your side, can you screenshot a little bit so you can see how you guys progress? About others, do you guys have any progress on your side? Yeah. Okay. How about this? If you find it's too fast or something, you still can't get it, you can tell me. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's nice. That's cool. You align it, and you add like maximum width for the something like this. You add maximum width for this part, or you add margin. You add margin left and right for them to actually won't get to the maximum width lah. Yeah, so that can be solved. Yeah, well, that's some pretty impressive stuff. And how about let's go to this part, which I think this part is pretty interesting, and there are some pretty cool concepts here. Yeah, so I will code on it. Probably we might skip contact me because it's not working. It's a contact me, but it just demonstrate, because if not, it might require some work on that. But we might not have many time for that lah. Okay, so now we're going to work on the skills section. So we need to create a section which is called class skills section, and our ID is skills. Right. Then we have a H2 tag. We have H2 tag called skills, and we want to assign it as the same as previously, the section title, right? We already style the section title, so we call this section title as well. Yeah, we already have a skill section title. Now what we're gonna do is we want to work on aligning these two things. We want to work on this first, basically. Okay, but we need a div to wrap two of them together. So we need to have basically a div. Class is called skills subtitle. Yeah, because it's or skills container first. Yeah, we need a container to wrap them. Yeah, and we need the PD grid, which I'll add this code later. Div and H2. Basically, you want to wrap it. So in this skill container, the first div is this part, left section, and the second div is this image. Okay, so the first div, you want to have like a professional skills class skills, you need a skills subtitle, right? You need the skills subtitle. Then we need a class skills text. Yeah, then just some text here. I'll just get lorem ipsum. Lorem ipsum is basically just like a placeholder text lah. Just some random text. Then now we'll go to the main point, which is basically the skills data. Yeah. So I'll just create one for this example lah. Yeah, because we don't have much time for that. Create data. Class skills data div skills names. We need a skill name for it, right? We need a skill name, but because we see the skill name, we have a logo here, HTML5. We can actually refer to this. What we refer to this box icons, box icon CDN. We can use what they have. So for example, we use what we have is I tag. This based on the documentation. You can copy from their site. This really copy from their site. I think just I copy this. Yeah, this is basically what CDN works is like they have like content delivery network. So they when you access this, when you have link to this site, right, they'll have like all their written codes on there. Then what we do is we can just directly use the code they have written on this website, on this CDN. Yeah. So this is basically what have been written by them for the skills. So there will be an icon there. So if you can see there's a HTML5, there's a HTML5 icon, right? Okay, there's HTML5 icon here. It's quite small, but we will start it later. Then we have a span of skills name, which is called HTML5. HTML5, we have the logo. Yeah. So what we're gonna work next, is actually we need to prepare the skill bar, the bar below them, right? Which is I think one of the coolest thing, and that you can see using HTML. Yeah. So we basically create an empty div, right? We create an empty div for this, which later we will style it so that it can have this effect, like the progress bar effect, and we can see it. Yeah, you'll see later. So we need another division. We need to mention about the percentage, right? Percentage of the score that we have. So class skills percentage 95%. Yeah, so we already have 95% HTML5 in this. We still cannot see this particular skill thing, but we will actually start it now. We will start it now so that we can actually see how it's gonna work, right? Okay, so okay, first we need to have a container. So we need to start the skills container. So skills container, we have a row gap. Row gap basically so that when we move it, there's some spacing between them. You want the row gap between these two elements. You want the row gap between you want the row gap between each of these elements. You want the row gap between the image and the skills section. So we want a row gap of like 2 rem. 2 rem is basically 2 times the font size, and you want the text align center. So you can see later the text align will be aligned in the center lah. Okay. So now we go to skills subtitle. Right, skills subtitle. So we go margin, bottom bar, MB2. So this margin bar MB2, right, is basically we can see MB2 is just basically 1 rem. We make it as a variable so we can actually reuse it. Yeah. So we have this margin bar MB2 and subtitle, and we have another one is we call this is the subtitle, which is the professional skill. Yeah. Then we need to go forwards to the text, right? We need to the description lorem ipsum for that. We have a margin bottom of like just 4. Right? I think it's 4 is like about 2 rem. Yeah, this is some predefined style that I talk about. Skills. Then we need to style the data. This data thing, right? Because they are under one container. You want to have this container like a container field, right? Okay. So this skills. I think I just copy paste from my side here. So okay, so this data we align it in a flex way, and it's spaced between. It's spaced between so that we can see that space between is like we have a space between them. It's like they are on the most left and the most right, so that we can see these two are in one div. They are go to the left most, and this percentage go to the right most. So we want it to be space between, and we align the center, relative position relative. That is basically we place the data. Relative. It's relative. It's not absolute. It's relative. Like if you didn't write this, it doesn't. It can be static. It can be relative. It can be absolute, sticky, or fixed. Yeah, we make it relative because basically we need to use absolute later, which we are not covering in this tutorial, right? And we want the font weight to be 600 so that it can be like slightly bold, semi-bold lah. Then we have a padding of 0.5 rem and 1 rem, 0.5 rem on the top and bottom. So we have 0.5 rem on the top and bottom. And for left and right, we have 1 rem of padding. Yeah, so we have padding 1 rem here, 1 rem here, 0.5 rem, 0.5 rem. Then we go to margin bottom. Basically MB4 is 2 rem. And we have a border radius to make it like slightly curved, you know. If not, it's a very sharp corner. We don't like that. And we have a box shadow so that you can see that there's a slightly shadow effect. Okay, so a box shadow will say 0 for 25 pixels RGBA. Yeah, this box shadow I also copied it online. Yeah. So this box shadow is adding the shadow effect so that it looks more natural, and it's not like very, yeah, it looks more natural basically. Skills data. And did I miss something? Skills data. Yeah, I think I write something wrong. As you can see now, right? You can see now there's a box and they go to the leftmost and the rightmost. Yeah. So after we add the skills data, we want to add the skills name, some styling. The skills name. Basically, this skills name, we want to add some styling for that. Basically, we want to flex it and we align it center. Yeah, not much difference you can see, but when you responsive, it become responsive, then it become a main thing. Yeah. So for example, now another important thing is skill bar. We have this skill bar. Wait, okay. Okay, I think I write something wrong. Skills bar, skills HTML, skills bar, skills HTML, skills percentage. Something I write wrong. Let me check what I write wrong. Skills bar, skills HTML. Should be working. Sorry, my bad. I think I made some mistake. What mistake that I made? Let me make some changes. Let's copy this and change it. I think I write some very wrong name lah. Yeah. So you can see you can see that from here we have this bar here. So what it do is, because we have a you can see we have a skill bar and the skills HTML. So what skill bar do is you will say that, okay, we want the position to be absolute. So the position to be absolute means that the position will be same as the parent. So the position of it will be same as skills data, which is basically on the top, actually on the top, at the top left corner. Yeah, because we can see this whole bar actually start from the top left corner. There's a starting point. If we say absolute, then the starting position will be same as the parent, will be basically the top left corner. Then we set the left to be 0, so that it will stick to the leftmost, and we set the bottom to be 0, so that it will move from the top to actually to the bottom. Then we state the height of 0.2 rem, so that you can have a little height. You can see the bar. You can see like the feeling of a bar. Border radius, the same thing. We add like a little bit rounded corner. Then after that, we put a Z index of -10. Yeah. If we put it like this, it doesn't matter as well. But Z index is basically right. For example, if you have like a few, Z index is basically a Z axis one. If you have like first component, second component, if the first one is -10, then it will be behind, the positive 10 will be in front. So if we have like Z index one negative, it will go behind, and some positive which are on the same location, the one negative will be covered by the positive it's basically like a Z index on the screen. So by setting a Z index, if you want this to always be on the front, then you need to set a front value as well. Yeah. Then we particularly set this width, this HTML, this width to 95, so that it is 95%. If we set it to 75%, then the length will be about 75%. Yeah, that will be something like that. Yeah, I think I probably can't finish covering this. Probably I'll share this code for everyone, and I'll probably make a wrong choice of want to completing this portfolio site in one day because of its difficulty level, and what I want to achieve is probably too much, and yeah, that's probably one of my problem. And I'll share the code with you guys, and probably I'll share the code with you guys to your GitHub repo, and we'll email to all of you. And yeah, basically I think we will end here, and probably I think we can wish to, and I wish that I actually can teach enough for you guys and you guys learn something. Although at the back session we go into this portfolio site, it becomes a little bit complex. Not a little bit complex, it's going pretty complex. Yeah, and that's my problem. Yeah, definitely will improve next time. Yeah. Any questions to add on? The code I will share to you guys, and when you guys get back, get the code and something, right, you guys can definitely modify it, and according to your needs, right, make some changes or anything, then you can publish as your own portfolio site as well. Yeah. You guys can send in the chat. Any question, any problems you want to ask? Sorry about that, because at the end we go a little bit fast, and and the code also become suddenly increase in complexity. Yeah, because I would say that building a portfolio site, something like this responsive, is not an easy task. It requires some quite deep understanding on the HTML and CSS as well. But I believe that most of you can actually get to understand it, get to work on it. If you can understand the content, and then most of the things that I mentioned in this docs, in this website, right? Then probably in 1 to 2 weeks time, definitely you can build the portfolio site with easily lah. You can build it easily. Yeah. Any questions, guys? Any questions or anything? Yeah, then I'll share the code later. I'll put in the GitHub repo, and I'll share to everyone. Yeah. Any question, guys? Any questions? Anything you wanna ask? I'm sorry about last. Sorry at last. I think I expect. I estimate wrongly. Yeah, probably completing this whole portfolio site is not easy. Yeah. Sorry about that. But I wish that you guys learn something throughout this event, and yeah, get something back. And definitely in future, if you build your own portfolio site, definitely you can tag us XMUM Tech Club in Instagram. We're definitely happy to see that as well. Yeah. The Harvard intrinsic effect. Oh, that one. I learned CSS through. I think guys can go to, I think, previously free code camp. Yeah, this is basically a place that I learned quite some JavaScript stuff. But basically the transition effect, right, is a bit JavaScript, but basically I'm using the library, then the library do all the works. So that you see here. So I say, okay, this div, you delay it. This div you delay for 400 milliseconds. This for 400 milliseconds, and this part you is like you don't need to have delay, and this you delay for 600 milliseconds. Yeah. So the Harvard effect is using this SR. SR is basically the scroll review. Scroll review is basically using this CDN lah, this library. Yeah, you can search Google, search scroll review, and you can learn how to work on it yourself as well. Yeah, that's quite cool thing. Yeah, I want to introduce it to you guys as well. Yeah, this actually I learned from internet as well. Like most of the content I get from internet, I process in a way and I modify. Is it how to manually copy? Then writing down text in my opinion. Yeah, but it's harder to yeah, but I definitely think that after learning code and stuff, yeah, manual copy is pretty hard. There's something probably underestimate as well, and yeah, but in future learning or something, I think writing it manually is definitely better. Because you get to look into the code and look in how it's structured. Sometimes copy paste like after if you I copy paste right, after like few minutes or hours, then I totally forget about it already. Yeah, but that's really hard lah, like copying manually on the computer. If you can pause the video, then definitely better. But if you can't pause, then there will be a hard thing. Yeah. Did you guys Oh, okay. So you yeah, so in Bootcamp or you learn about JavaScript, right? Most of the JavaScript they cover is the JavaScript programming language. But the JavaScript in doing websites is a little bit different, such as you need to learn what is document, what is get element by ID, and all kind of stuff. I think you can just like get on YouTube, free code can YouTube, find one tutorial that you like. You look at the outcome that you want to build that thing. You just follow the tutorial, make sure it's suitable for your level, then you just follow it. At the beginning, definitely get the tutorials and stuff, like then you can kickstart to learn. Yeah, but I think that learn JavaScript is something that and also and so for probably some of you may ask that where do we go on from here, right? Where do we go on from here after learning this, right? Definitely you can. I think you need to if you want to go for front end, right? Definitely, I think even if you want to work as a backend engineer, we work on the like database and all kind of stuff. You still need to understand front end a little bit, because if not, you don't know what the front end need. And understanding HTML and CSS, don't need to be very expert, know how to make it responsive, write CSS, do colors, align things, definitely helps. And even if future you can make very good websites, you can help you to make incomes as well. Yeah. And also definitely after this, definitely you can explore forward to learning JavaScript. Yeah, I would say JavaScript is one of the most demand language, like the market want it the most. Most of the jobs they require working on JavaScript. And yeah, basically there is. And if future you want to go on more advanced thing, you can go to like JavaScript frameworks to build front ends. Yeah, definitely you can go further on that. But definitely you need to go step by step. You don't jump too much. If you go to the hardest thing, that sometimes you didn't understand the fundamental things, it might bring some problems and some bottleneck as well. Yeah. So for example, this is the website that I built. So this is my own personal website lah. Yeah. So it is built based on a JavaScript framework. Yeah. So yeah, building websites for a few years, 2 years. Yeah. Definitely, if you learn about it, you can definitely improve. Yeah. Definitely, you can explore more. Yeah. Explore more, learn more, and definitely join the community. I'll say joining us as a team, we can help you as well and get some connection as well. Yeah. And also we are opening for recruitment for next semester. At the starting of next semester, we're opening for recruitment for committees as well. If you're interested in joining committees, definitely wait for the time. Yeah. I think probably that's about the end for this event. More details I'll email you to you guys soon, right? Yeah, I think that's all. Any more questions? No, then I will see you guys next time. I see you guys. I see you guys next time if we have chance and opportunity. Yeah. So yeah, I have something going on at about 4:30, so I can't stay out for too long. Yeah. They really thanks you guys for listening. And wish you guys get something back. And I wish that the materials help you guys as well. Yeah. No problem. Thank you. No problem. Thank you. for sharing. Yeah, and definitely sharing. Yeah, if you guys in future you guys learn about the skills and what, definitely find a chance to share to your friends or juniors, and it will be you're going to so that we can build a like healthier ecosystem to like to share learn knowledge and stuff. Yeah, really thanks a lot. Thank you everyone. Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you. Bye. Bye bye.